Greetings. Coming up on the 4th of July, the anniversary of the founding of this country, the Declaration of Independence for this country. Yesterday, I read the opening paragraph of the Declaration of Independence. Go back and listen to it. It's great. It's great to hear. We need to hear it regularly. Should hear it so much that we have it memorized, but we need to hear it regularly. Today, quick reminder review that we have a structure of government under the Constitution, which was developed and passed in 1789, 14 years later, 13 years later, sorry, my math is bad, in which we created a structure of government that increased some power to the national government in order to accomplish what government needs to accomplish. But our system is built on, predicated on, committed to checks and balances, because the fundamental concept was that those in power will seek to accumulate and hold on to more power. And that is fundamentally detrimental to individual rights, liberties, and freedoms. We hold these truths to be self-evident. It is detrimental to that to have too much government. It is detrimental to that to have too much power in the hands of certain people. That's not picking on anybody. It's a given that people in power will almost always hold their power or try to accumulate more. So we have a system of government where the federal government was strengthened, but the states are a counterbalance to the federal. We have a system of government where the federal government has checks and balances by having the legislative branch of government, Congress, be clearly delineated for making the laws and passing the budgets, controlling taxation, controlling the money. We have the executive independently in power, in position, not out of the legislative as in a parliamentary system, but the president is independently elected by the people indirectly through the election system, but that's a different topic. But the president then is the head of government to execute the laws, to execute the responsibilities of government. We have the third branch, the judiciary, which has the authority and the responsibility to check. Is that law constitutional? Is that law in conflict with other laws that puts the person or even the business or the company that is subject to that law in an impossible position of having conflicting laws? The courts are the ones to decide that. The courts also check the executive. Is the president engaging in actions that exceed his authority? See Joe Biden giving student loan relief. He doesn't have that authority. Giving money, monetarily relief to people is Congress's authority and responsibility. The president does not have that authority. The Supreme Court checked Joe Biden. Of course, Joe Biden is ignoring it. Spend some time on that. The Supreme Court checks the executive and the government, departments and agencies, and the way the government is implementing things. The Supreme Court just checked itself to correct a bad decision in the Chevron decision of 1982, which allowed and in fact relieved the courts of the responsibility of checking the government to make sure the government's way of implementing the law did not violate the Constitution or other laws. This Supreme Court came back and said, no, That review is for the courts. It's not for an individual to complain that the government was unfair, inappropriate, and have the only one to review the government's decision and process be the government. No, no, no. So, what do you think? Do you support, in general, checks and balances? Do you believe that individuals or agencies or departments or whoever, however it's framed, want and will develop to keep power, bureaucracies? And if so, do you believe in the Declaration of Independence that we hold all these truths to be self evident? Fundamentally, that we are actively opposed to tyranny and to oppression of the individual. Do you believe that? Comment below. Make a comment. Let's challenge ourselves today and coming up on independence, coming up on the reminder, coming up because we need to save this country. Son of Liberty 2020, amliberty2020 at gmail.com, taverntalks.locals.com. See you next time.